Hello friends, very good afternoon. Welcome back to yet another episode of Manju's Testimony. Today we are going to talk about OET reading part C. I already did the first part of this video yesterday, so if you guys did not watch that video, please go to my video list and see that video, then come back to see this video. So as I promised you in my previous video, this video is an in-depth analysis of part C. So I'm requesting you to watch the video till the end without skipping, and please let me know about your feedback by your comments are valuable. I felt that you guys are a bit reluctant to like, share and comment. Please do subscribe, like, share and comment, and I wish all of you a happy new year, especially for Mallu's happy Chingam. Welcome Chingam. So let's see the video. The 19th question is, what does it refers to in the 5th paragraph? Let's go back to the text. The team then wondered whether it was possible to override responses normally provoked by appealing or aversive taste. To investigate, they gave mice a bitter chemical, quinine, or a sweet solution, the artificial sweetener X, and then monitored drinking behavior while activating their amygdala connections. Activating sweet connections caused mice drinking quinine to drink more. Activating bitter ones turned the normally appealing sweet taste into a horrible one. These results show the amygdala is central to determining the valence of taste. It's a unique example of a hardware predetermined circuit that evolutionarily most likely served a simple requirement. Zucker says, which is, I need to know what is essential for me to maintain my dietary need and not be poisoned and die. So guys, here we see the word eat in the first sentence, so you don't have to read the entire paragraphs. It's easy to get from reading the first two sentences, but if you have time you can read because it may helps to find out the next question easily. So let's read the options now. First option is altering brain's natural response to taste. Option B, the team investigating the perception of different taste. Option C is activating amygdala connections, and option D is appealing or aversive taste. So let's try to solve the first option, altering brain's natural response to taste. Okay, let's read the first sentence. The team then wondered whether it was possible to override responses normally provoked by appealing or aversive taste. To investigate, they gave mice a bitter chemical or a sweet solution and then monitored drinking behavior while activating their amygdala connections. So from here we can have a guess that it may be the right answer because the meaning is matching with the sentence in the text. Altering brain's natural response to taste is equal to possible to override responses normally provoked by appealing or aversive taste. Override responses normally provoked. Override means to interrupt or suspend. Okay. So the team then wondered whether it was possible to interrupt or suspend the response which is normally provoked by appealing or aversive taste. That means they are trying to interrupt or suspend brain natural response usually comes with appealing or aversive taste. Okay, so here altering brain's natural response to taste is somewhat the same meaning of that sentence. So let's keep it standby. We have to eliminate other three options as well. So let's see the next option, the team investigating the perception of different taste. Friends, please try to replace the option B in the place of it in the sentence. Okay, let's read like that. The team then wondered whether the team investigating the perception of different taste was possible to override responses normally provoked by. Does that make sense? No, right? The team is the one doing something and they were wondered whether it was possible to override brain's natural response normally provoked by appealing or aversive taste. So obviously it is not the right answer. The team investigating the perception of different taste would not match with the word it here. So now we can eliminate simply that option. Let's move on to next option, activating amygdala connections. It is mentioned here, to investigate they gave mice a, I'm reading the second sentence, okay. To investigate they gave mice a bitter chemical or a sweet solution and then monitored drinking behavior while activating their amygdala connections. So when we connect the meaning of both sentences, it is like this. The team researchers wanted to check whether it was possible to override the brain's natural response. For that, they try to activate the amygdala connections by giving the mice bitter chemical and a sweet solution. So amygdala connection is the test they have done to check whether it was possible to override responses normally provoked by the appealing or aversive taste. So amygdala connection is not the sentence to replace the word it in the first sentence. So we can easily eliminate now option C. Let's see the option D, appealing or aversive taste. So it is also like, how did we eliminate the option B, the team investigating the perception of different taste. So like that, just try to replace the word it with appealing or aversive taste. Let's read like that. The team then wondered whether appealing or aversive taste was possible to override responses normally provoked by appealing or aversive taste. So that sentence would not have any correct meaning, right? So we can now eliminate option D as well. So all the other three options we eliminated, and the right answer here is altering brain's natural response to taste. Without reading the other three options, we could easily understand that option A is the right answer, but we cannot fix a right answer like that. We have to eliminate the other three options, then only we will get 1 mark there. Okay. So next, move on to 20th question. In the paragraph 5, by quoting Zucker, the author suggests that. So let's move on to the 5th paragraph. We already read the first two sentences for the last question, right? So this is also from the same paragraph. So now let's read the options. Option A, amygdala is central to the way taste are perceived. Option B, taste helps survive. Option C, it is essential to know how to meet the body's dietary needs. Option D, taste is an example of hardwired nature of the brain. So here we should notice two things importantly from the question, that by quoting Zucker, the author suggests that. So that words are important. Here the question is asking us to find out the author's suggestions. So what the author want to suggest as by quoting a Zucker's research example. So we are not talking about Zucker's findings or Zucker's suggestion, Zucker's opinion, Zucker's result. So here we have to find out our author's suggestion, who wrote the entire article suggesting something to the readers by quoting Zucker. So this is what we have to find out from here. So first option, amygdala is central to the way taste are perceived. Guys, we have been reading the entire extract since the past paragraph for solving all this question up to 20, right, till now. So we have read from third and fourth paragraph that amygdala has a special role in balance of taste, right? Amygdala is a special structure in the brain, and the cortex is the place where really taste are sensed. After that, there is a connection to amygdala where the balance of taste is determined. Amygdala has a special role in assigning valence to taste. So we already saw that amygdala is central to the balance to taste, not the perception of taste. The perception of taste is happening in the cerebral cortex. And from the fifth paragraph, author is not saying about amygdala, or no, author is not quoting Zucker to stress the amygdala's role. We already read paragraph 3 and 4, and in that we already talk about amygdala's its connection. Author has given examples of Zucker's research to find out the amygdala's role in balance of taste. We explained detail about amygdala's connections, third and fourth paragraph. So in the fifth paragraph, just they want to try whether it was possible to override brain's natural response. To check that, author caught an example of Zucker's research in that they try to activate their amygdala connections by giving bitter and sweet taste to mice. So here the author is not meant to talk about amygdala's connection. The author wanted to investigate whether it was possible to override brain's natural response when activated by bitter and sweet solution. So now we can say that amygdala is central to the way taste are perceived. This is not the thing the author want to suggest us from the fifth paragraph. And amygdala is not central to the way taste are perceived. Amygdala is a structure whether the balance of taste is determining perception of taste is in the cerebral cortex. So that sentence is wrong. So we can now eliminate option A. Then next is taste helps survive. Taste helps survive. There is not that much sentence mentioning this sentence. There is a sentence that the Zucker says, which is, I need to know what is, I'm reading the last sentence, I need to know what's essential for me to maintain my dietary need and not to be poisoned and die. Okay, so Uka says that I need to know what's essential for me to maintain my dietary needs and not be poisoned and die. So he's saying about the survival. Okay, he needs to know which one is better and which one is bad or affecting our survival. So, but we cannot assume that the right answer. But let's keep it standby. We cannot say that this is the right answer, but we cannot avoid that also, right? It may be the right answer, so just keep it standby. Let's move on to option C. It is essential to know how to meet the body's dietary needs. Do you think this is the right answer? No way, because from the text we read all the sentences, right? We did not read from the text to mention something that is describing how to meet the body's dietary needs. We read a sentence like this. Sukar says, which is, I need to know what is essential for me to maintain my dietary needs and not be poisoned and die. Here he mentioned what is essential for me to maintain my dietary needs. So this sentence doesn't mean that the entire paragraph is suggesting, the author is not suggesting to suggesting something to meet our dietary needs. The text is not about meeting body's dietary needs or dietary requirements. So we can easily eliminate option C. Then the last one is option D. Taste is an example of hardwired nature of the brain. Entire article is about taste, right? So taste is an example of hardware nature of the brain. This sentence give importance to hardware nature of the brain, and they give taste is an example of the hardware nature of the brain. Guys, as I told you before, we are reading so far about taste and the balance of taste, the taste connections and the perception of taste, right? Just read this sentence. Taste is an example of hardwired nature of the brain. We are not talking about hardwired nature of the brain in this article. We are talking about the taste and its sensation and how taste is perceived and what the role of brain structures in perception of taste. So now we understand that option D is not the answer, but we have to look for the question. Okay, by quoting Sukar, the author suggests that. So in that way also, the author is not suggesting about hardware nature of the brain. The author is suggesting all the things about taste today. So let's see what the author suggestion about taste here from the fifth paragraph. So we already eliminated option A, option C and option D, and we kept option B as a standby. Taste helps survive. I could not read so many sentences to support this option. Taste helps survive. It says that from the last sentence that these results show the amygdala is central to determine the balance of taste. It is a quite unique example of a hardwired predetermined circuit that evolutionarily most likely served a simple requirement. Sukar says, which is I need to know what is essential for me to maintain my dietary need and not be poisoned and die. So what's the meaning of this speech? I need to know what is essential for me to maintain my dietary needs. So Swooker says that he wants to know which is good and which is healthy for me to keep in my dieting to help me to survive and not to die. So by quoting this sentence, this speech, these words from Swooker's, the author is suggesting that taste helps us to survive. So when we taste something poison, when we have the ability to taste something poison, we will avoid it, right? So by quoting Sukar's words, author is trying to tell us that taste helps us to survive. So now we found out the right answer. I have one advice for you. If you have difficulty to understand the meaning of the last sentence, for example, Sukar says, I need to know what is essential for me to maintain my dietary needs and not be poisoned and die. So a few of may might confuse that what the really sentence, what the sentence meaning. Is it say about maintaining my dietary needs or survival? So if you have an ambiguity like that, just go through the options. We could easily eliminate the other three options and then we can fix B as the right answer. So if you have any difficulty to find out the meaning, just try to eliminate the other wrong option to reach the right answer. Okay, guys, let's move on to 21st question. According to the final paragraph, when mice were trained after their amygdala function had been deactivated, they. So let's move on to the final paragraph. Okay, sixth paragraph. Let's read it. The researchers hypothesized that if different brain regions are responsible for imposing different features of the sense of taste, it might be possible to dissociate them. We thought it should be possible to have the taste of sweet without being attracted. Suka says, Conversely, I should be able to give you a bitter, and you know that you are tasting something bitter, but be completely blind to its innate aversive feature. To investigate, they conducted another set of experiments in which they blocked amygdala activity, either genetically or with a drug. They first showed this both abolished the effect of directly stimulating cortical taste neurons on appetitive and aversive behaviors and dramatically reduced these behaviors in response to real taste. They then trained mice to identify taste, and the final experiment showed that silence in the amygdala has no effect on their ability to perform this task, despite the profound effect it has on reducing their response to the same taste. This finding implies different components of taste experiences are dissociable and can be independently modified or even removed. This fundamental research, though with no immediate clinical relevance, could ultimately have implications for researchers looking to treat people with severe obesity problems by blocking certain response to certain taste. There may even be implications for understanding eating disorders because food's valence may be connected to the guilt experienced in condition like anorexia. It is a long paragraph, right? But don't stop or just overlook the paragraph if you feel that the paragraph is so lengthy and you may lost your time. Don't do like that. If you read the paragraph, you will get benefit later, because the upcoming question is more likely to be from the same paragraph as well. So try to read the entire paragraph with complete understanding of the meaning. So now we completed reading. Let's move on to the options. So, according to the final paragraph, when mice were trained after their amygdala function had been deactivated, they, first option, failed to recognize different taste. Second option, displayed unusual behavior to different taste. Option C, identified taste but did not respond to the taste. And the last option is recognized taste with subtle reactions. So let's see the first option, failed to recognize different taste. Did they fail to recognize different taste? So let's go back to the text again. To investigate, they conducted another set of experiment in which they blocked amygdala activity, either genetically or with a drug. They first showed this both abolished the effect of directly stimulating cortical taste neurons on appetite and aversive behavior and dramatically reduced these behaviors in response to real taste. Did they fail to recognize different taste? No, it dramatically reduced these behaviors in response to real taste. Reduced these behaviors only. They did not fail to recognize the taste. So, for more understanding, let's read the next sentence. They can train mice to. They then train mice to identify taste, and the final experiment showed that silencing the amygdala has no effect on their ability to perform this task, despite the profound effect it has on reducing their response to the same taste. So they tried to block the amygdala's activity first by genetically or with a drug. Then they show that this test reduces the behavior in response to real taste, and after that they give something for the mice to taste by blocking the amygdala's activity. In that case also, they have seen that there was no effect on their ability to perform this task. This task here means they give the mice to taste something, and in that case also they have seen that there was no effect on their ability to perform. Ability to perform means ability to identify this taste, just it reduces their response to the same taste. So we did not find that they failed to recognize different tastes. They could recognize the taste, but it reduces their effect of sensing the taste. Okay, so we can eliminate option A. Then the next option is B, displayed unusual behavior to different tastes. Did you read any sentence mentioning that the mice displayed unusual behavior while they taste something? No, we did not read anything about unusual behavior, right? So now we can eliminate option B also. Then we move on to option C, identify taste but did not respond to the taste. Is that correct? No way, right? Let's read this sentence. Then they train mice to identify taste, and the final experiment showed that silence the amygdala has no effect on their ability to perform this task, despite the profound effect it has on reducing their response to the same taste. They responded, but their response was very less. their response was reduced. So we cannot say that they did not respond to the taste. They responded, but it was subtle response. That means it was very less. The response was very less. So we cannot say that this is the right option. So just eliminate option C. The last option is option D, recognize taste with the subtle reaction. So just told you now that they responded, but their response was less. Less means subtle. Subtle means very less, narrow, or very fine, like that. So subtle is very less. So we have read that they recognized the taste, but their response were very subtle. They showed only subtle reaction to the taste when they experienced it. Okay, so guys, I have seen a lot of questions with this word subtle. So just understand the meaning. Keep in mind that subtle is very less, fine, narrow. You may also come across so many questions which include subtle. I have seen a lot of questions with the subtle when I did my training. So just keep in mind the meaning of the word subtle. Okay, so let's move on to next question. The research expounded in the passage will probably find application in. Do you think we need to read the entire paragraph? No, right? We have already read the sixth paragraph completely for the last question. So now we just need to see the specific sentences which mention the application of research. So let's read the last sentences. Here it is. This fundamental research, though with no immediate clinical relevance, could ultimately have implications for researchers looking to treat people with severe obesity problems by blocking certain response to certain taste. There may even be implications for understanding eating disorders because food balance may be connected to the guilt experienced in conditions like anorexia. So let's read the options now. Option A is reducing weight, option B is clinical research, option C is treating obesity causing disorders, and the last one is diagnosing eating disorders. So let's see the first option, reducing weight. Reducing weight means, so let's read the sentence in the text. Says anything about treating obesity. Okay, could ultimately have implication for researchers looking to treat people with a severe obesity problem by blocking certain response to certain taste. So this sentence is matching with the options to treat weight. Obesity means overweight, right? So the treatment of obesity people to reduce the weight. This is the treatment for obesity. So let's keep the option standby. Let's go to next options. Option B is clinical research. Okay, this fundamental research, though with no immediate clinical relevance, could ultimately have implication for researchers looking to treat people with severe obesity problem by blocking certain response to certain tastes. So some of you may have doubt here that okay, this may be help in researchers looking for treating people. So researchers are doing research, right? So this may help in clinical research as well. So why don't it be an answer? You are right. So we may have a doubt that clinical research may be the right answer, but did you see any definite article here? They have given just clinical research. So it is generally they are talking about clinical research. If there was a definite article, the clinical research, that means they are talking about a particular research. So in the text it mentioned that it would help researchers looking to treat people with a severe obesity. So it won't help all the researchers conducting the healthcare settings. It may help for researchers looking for treating obesity people. So it might have been the answer if there was a definite article before clinical research, but there was no definite article. So they have given only clinical research, that is general, and it is not a specific research conducting for treating obesity problems. So we cannot say that this research would help all the researches happening in the clinics. So we can now eliminate option B. Then next is C, treating obesity causing disorder. Did you notice it is not treating obesity, it is obesity causing disorder. Okay, obesity causing disorders means there are so many disorders where obesity become an after effects of the problem, right? For example, the people with polycystic ovarian disease has obesity as an after effects of the disease. Another example is obesity sometimes happened as a result of some medications, right? We have seen so many people become obese after taking some drugs. For example, hormone medications, then psychiatric medication. So there the reason behind that obesity is something different. So there are so many problems where obesity comes as an after effect. So these all are the some of the examples for obesity causing disorder. So we cannot say that this particular research would definitely helps to treat all the obesity causing disorders. It might helps to treat people with the severe obesity problems later by blocking the response to certain taste, but we cannot say that it will helps to treat all obesity causing disorders. Okay, so that option is for elimination. Then the last option is diagnosing eating disorder. Okay, let's read the text for diagnosing eating disorder. There may even be implications for understanding eating disorders because food's violence may be connected to the guilt experienced in conditions like anorexia. Did you see anything related to diagnosing? Diagnosing means to find out, right? So the text says that there may even be implications for understanding eating disorders because food balance. Okay, by understanding these things, we can understand the reason behind the eating disorders, but that doesn't mean that we can use this to diagnose eating disorders. So this is not the diagnosing tool to find out eating disorder. So now we can eliminate option D. So we eliminated option B, C, D, and the last option is reducing weight. Option A, it is the obesity means overweight. So treating obesity means treating to reduce their weight. So option A is the right answer here. Right answer. And from the sentence also we could understand that option A is the right answer, from where it is could ultimately have implications for researchers looking to treat people with severe obesity problem by blocking certain response to certain tastes. So treat people with severe obesity. So guys, that's about today's video. I hope you guys got all your doubts cleared, and let me know about your comments and feedback. And thank you so much for today. So signing off today till we meet in the next video. Thank you.